Hi, this is Ashley Schmidt, and not only am I an United States Air Force Academy graduate, I actually worked in the admissions office at the Air Force Academy. And so I wanted to talk to you more about tips and tricks for interviews, especially your nomination interview. This is the second part in a 5-part series, so if you haven't seen the other videos, check out my channel, subscribe, and you can watch the rest of those videos and get the tips and tricks. All right, so today we're going to talk about two more things. We're going to talk about eye contact and thinking about your question. All right, eye contact is really important. Now, especially for nomination interviews, you're going to be talking to a panel of people, which is like 3 to maybe 7 people. It's generally 3 to 5 from each service academy. And so what you're going to want to do is you're going to maintain eye contact. Now, this is a conversation, though it may feel like an interrogation, it is definitely a conversation. So you don't want to stare intently. It's weird, right? You don't have conversations with your friends where you stare at them, right? That is weird, but you do need to maintain eye contact. Now, here's what I suggest you do with the panel. So the person who asks you the question, start by addressing them. Look at them, answer, right? Start talking. And then as you go along with your answer, look at the next person down the table and look at the next person and the next. Try and maintain eye contact for a few seconds with each person. Just try and engage the room. When you notice when you are in a group of your friends, you don't just stare at one friend, you tend to look at several friends. You tend to talk to them all, not just one single person. Treat your interview panel similar to that. It is a conversation, right? So treat it like that. Look at everyone and make eye contact. Now, if they're scribbling notes down on a piece of paper, skip over that person. That's fine. Go to the next person. And then make sure when you swing your gaze back to look at them. Now, you don't want to be very robotic. It's not like this. Right? That feels weird. Don't do that, okay? It feels weird. It is weird. Do it naturally. Just kind of pay attention maybe in the next week or two or a few weeks, however much time you have, to what you do normally in a conversation with people. Just kind of feel what that feels like and then, practice that. Maybe have your parents or a few friends sit down and start talking and then just kind of practice moving from person to person and making eye contact. All right, so my second tip. Now, my second tip is to think about your question before you actually answer. Now, if you get asked a question, you're not sure immediately what the answer is, there's 2 techniques you can use. You can stall by asking them to repeat the question or asking maybe for them to repeat part of the question, like, I understood this part. What do you mean by the rest? Personally, the first thing I would do before that is actually just pause for a second. It is going to feel like an eternity pausing in your head. It'll feel like minutes are going by, but it is really only a second or two. Okay? Now, if it's longer than a second or two, yeah, that's when I would start asking that follow-up question, like, I'm sorry, can you repeat that question for me? And they will repeat it. They just want to make sure that you are answering the question that they asked. So you're going to want to just give it a bit of time, think about that question, think about how you want to answer. Don't just blurt things out. You want to actually have kind of a cohesive answer in your head before you start. Like I said, it's going to feel like an eternity in your head, but it probably isn't as long as you think it is. And if you feel it's too long, yes, take that time to ask for them to repeat the question, and that'll give you a few extra seconds to think about your answer. But don't just start blurting out an answer before you actually thought about the question. One of the biggest things is students start answering a question that wasn't actually asked. They asked something similar, but not the actual question that was asked. It also gives you a chance to hear things like if they say give examples rather than example, right? You want to be able to have more than one example if they ask for more than one. So take a second and think about your answer before you give it. All right, I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you follow along and listen to the rest of the videos I have on this channel. I'm going to have lots of great information, so I will see you in the next video. Thanks.
Want to impress Academy admissions? Want to get that nomination? Then this is the workbook for you. Grab your step-by-step guide on Amazon today. Use the link below or Search on Amazon for Service Academy Admissions.